In the first two games of the Celtics Net series, Boston has put Kevin Durant in a straitjacket with an incredible defensive display, holding him to just 32% shooting from the floor while forcing 12 turnovers in an Alcatraz-level lockdown. Boston has looked like an historically good defense since the new year, and last month we discussed their incredible length, switchability, and lockstep scheme, and they've taken those principles and focused them squarely on Durant. It starts away from the ball, making it difficult for KD to get to his sweet spots and denying him the ball within his shooting range. Here's a play from their game in March where Boston switches and Durant ends up with a post-up in his comfort zone with an easy jab step and score. With Tatum as the primary defender, there's no switch, and then Jayson denies any foul line area catch. A few trips later, they try to free Durant with a cross screen, and Boston switches, and KD runs into Grant Williams, then Al Horford gets in his way to give him no space while ignoring Andre Drummond. Then Grant fronts the post, and Durant finally gets it in a nice spot, but is ripped by Williams, and that leads to a run out and a nice smart pass for easy offense. A minute later, you can see Grant completely face-guarding Durant, and Horford slides down to make any cuts harder. KD says forget it and tells Drummond to go screen, and that at least gives Kyrie a slight edge in the ball screen action and leads to free throws. Even with Tatum on the bench, Williams tries to impede the cut, then Jaylen Brown is waiting, and again, Horford tries to take away Durant's space, and like a broken record, Kyrie falls back on pick and roll, and this time Smart recovers well, and it's a tough jumper. Boston's game plan is to reroute Durant on his movement and not let him walk to where he wants, and the Celtics can switch almost any defender when needed, so Smart sits on his front leg to squeeze him out here, and Horford can then stay with Kyrie on the ball, with Smart bothering him because Durant can't space to the corner with Bruce Brown standing there, and that's just more low percentage offense. Some of this is a lack of agility from Durant on these cuts. He's top locked again, Horford slides next to the screen, and KD runs right into him instead of going around. Then Williams recovers instantly, and Durant just blasts through him instead of countering. And all of this is just to set a screen, and then finally Kevin catches it 20 feet away with 7 on the shot clock, only for Brown to slide into his driving gap, and the play ends with a difficult shot and questionable foul. Heck, the Celtics don't even make handoffs easy, with Smart in position to deny, then he jams the handoff and harasses Durant 30 feet away into a sloppy pass. Smart, Tatum, Brown, and Grant Williams are all much stronger than Durant, and while leaning into his movement like this will be a foul sometimes, it's just hard for KD to keep his balance and comfortably move around these defenders. Williams is built like a brick wall and just holds his ground here, and you see Durant try to push him off, so he takes another step out and Grant moves in on him, and the pass is an adventure because KD's off balance. When he finally catches it, the Celtics swarm, with Brown pulled over, with Smart waiting in the lane, and that is yet another turnover. So even when he does catch the ball in these spots, a Boston defender is slid over, making life uncomfortable. Another issue for Durant is that he just isn't quick enough to take any of these defenders. Daniel Tice denies him well. Again, Brown sags way off Kyrie, and he can't turn the corner and is swarmed on a 12-foot pull-up, and there are always bodies behind him in the paint because of Brooklyn's non-shooters. This actually reminds me of what KD faced in the 2016 Western Conference Finals, with Golden State cheating over into Durant's driving lanes and clogging the paint because the Thunder lacked shooters to space the floor. In Game 1, Durant was able to get his best shots in transition. Brown and Horford forget about him here, and on a run out like this, he can waltz to a sweet spot without a contest. But in Game 2, they made sure to pick him up high, and Smart adds a second body because they don't really care about Bruce Brown as a shooter. Brown took advantage of that early in Game 2 by scoring 12 points and knocking down a few corner jumpers, but Boston will live with that. What the Celtics are avoiding is Brown wide open on the short roll with an easy target to hit. So the Celtics don't outright trap Durant ball screens, even as they're showing him a second defender. Tatum comes back to briefly double team, then Tice recovers to the paint, and he inadvertently lets Brown screen freely for Durant, but that shot is a misfire. Remember, Boston just switches most of these screens without paying any tax. Even when Horford is crossed up here, Tatum slides off the corner to cut off KD, and so Al can recover and strip Durant from behind. This time Horford switches, and Tatum lets Brown go, jabs at the ball, and Durant fumbles it under pressure for a giveaway. Here's another really quick double with Smart on Durant, and Tatum leaving Kyrie to jab at the Rock, and Tatum's length has really bothered Durant in this series. There's a second body creeping up to KD, and then Tatum's contest forces a wobbly pass to the corner, giving Grant Williams time to recover and do that. Tatum's defense in general has been exceptional for most of the first two games. On the other end, his passing has been really good too, and he's had highlight reel moments, switched onto a red-hot Irving in Game 1, only to block his step back. I'm not sure that was even one of his three best defensive plays of the series. This one is gorgeous man defense, sliding around the pick, then elevating to tip the pass, and all these turnovers help boost Boston's efficiency on offense. The Celtics scheme also helps Tatum, because even when Durant gets half a step, Smart's eyeing him off the corner, there are three Celtics standing in the paint, so Jayson can really bother KD's pull-up. You might be thinking, Durant's release is so high, you can't really bother his shot, but Tatum can outright stuff it, and that one was aided by bodies in the paint and Jalen helping off Kyrie. But this one's in straight-up isolation, and I don't remember anyone ever just stamping Durant's jumper like that. It reminded me of the 2008 finals when Paul Pierce absolutely smothered Kobe Bryant in isolation, and that Celtic defense held Bryant to 49% true shooting with 8 turnovers in the first 2 games of that series. Although that's nothing compared to their first 2 games against a pre-MVP LeBron James, where he committed 17 turnovers on a woeful 32% true shooting. LeBron did pass well in those games, but Durant hasn't punished the Celtics much for tilting the defense toward him. Here, Kevin's attacking off a screen, and per usual, Brown slides up into his shooting space, leaving Seth Curry, of all people, but Durant takes a heavily contested jumper. This might be Durant's best season as a passer, although he's more comfortable when he can pause and survey like he does here, exposing the double team with a quick kick out. And sometimes just making the basic pass one help away is the way to capitalize on defenders cheating over. In the plays we've already looked at, he's missed a ton of nearby shooters, and more advanced skip passes are even harder to make when you're desperately hunting for shooting space. Even on a play like this, where KD is attacking the goal, a swing to Curry might be better than trying to finish in traffic, because Durant has had trouble generating just about anything off the drive in this series, thanks to Boston's size and discipline. Crisper off-ball movement could also combat this scheme, but we haven't seen much of that. And the Celtics have executed their game plan to perfection, pushing him off his sweet spots, denying him easy catches, throwing extra defenders in his driving gaps, and fluidly switching from one strong defender to the next. So, after 2 games, Ime Udoka's incredible defense, led by Jayson Tatum and Marcus Smart, have subjected Kevin Durant and the Nets to an absolute defensive clinic. To support this channel, check out patreon.com/thinkingbasketball, where we have additional content, historical stats, a community, and more. Thanks as always for watching this one all the way to the end. I hope you are enjoying this incredible series as much as I am, and that wherever you are watching, you are having a great day.